My name is Erica Markley, and I guess my story starts June of 2012 when we moved here from Oregon. Me and my husband were not in a good place, and we were getting divorced, and we had to sit our kids down. We have 4 boys. We had to sit them down and tell them that we were going to get divorced because we couldn't do it anymore. And that was the hardest thing, to tell 4 boys that your parents aren't going to be together anymore. So we just decided that maybe if we moved and was in a new environment, that maybe we could make it work. So we came here, and it was awful. We didn't have a job. We had a place to stay. That was the only thing we had. We moved here with a little U-Haul trailer stuck to the back of our minivan, so we didn't have nothing but literally the clothes that we came with. So the first few months were awful, and one day I happened to go to the boys' school, and they told us about the Center of Hope. And we didn't know what it was, and so one day we went because we needed to get some food. So I was just sitting there with my boys and my husband while they were eating, and a lady came out to serve us lunch from one of the churches. And she was amazing because she came out and she treated us like we were the most important person in the room, even though she had no idea who we were. That was the start of our journey with the center. And we didn't know at the time, but the lady who served us lunch is now one of the ladies that is very important in our life, and she goes to our church. But she made an impact on us because she treated us like we were people and not just a number and not just somebody off the street, that we were important to her. And she prayed for us, and she was, she asked the boys questions, and so she just made us feel like we were important. And we just would go in there when we needed food, and and they were talking to us about churches and things. And the school I had to go back to the school, and one of the ladies in the office was amazing, and she invited us to go to a church. And we didn't belong to a church, we didn't go to church, we didn't nothing. And my husband, that same day, we were driving somewhere, and my husband said, we need to find a church. We ended up going. We met her at church, and we went to church with her, and that changed our lives because they loved on us and cared for us and have been there for us, but they are so involved with the center that helped us get involved. They just do everything they can for the center. And by the time we had gotten into church and we were really involved in church, we realized that this is something we want to do because we had been those people. We had been the ones on that other side of that table that needed things. And so this is our chance for us to give it back. And so my kids would go and serve lunches to people when they could, because they knew what it was like to be those kids. And so we got on our feet, and we were doing better, but we were still struggling because 4 teenage boys is a lot. They eat a lot. So one of the ladies comes to me and says, I know you're looking for a job. It's only part-time, but you need to go down there and talk to Michelle because they might hire you at the Hope Chest. So I ended up coming in a couple of days later and, and turning my application and my resume. So she's like, I'll let you know tomorrow. So she prayed, and I prayed, please God, just if that's where you want me to be, So she calls me the next day, and she says, if you still want the job, it's yours. But, these are the hours, these are the days. It's not probably what you want, but this is what I can offer you. And so I took it because it was a job, and, that was the only place I had looked for a job. And so I thought, okay, God, this is where I can help. I can give back to those who've helped me because our lives have changed immensely. My marriage is restored. God has made our marriage better than I ever thought it could be. In a couple weeks, we're going to be celebrating our anniversary. And we'll be married for 13 years. That's a huge thing. My kids know what it's like to have parents that are still together. Things aren't perfect, but it's so much better than it was because of the people that God has surrounded me with to show me what a marriage could be like and what it's supposed to be like. So I have amazing role models in my church and at work. I mean, where else can you go to pray every day, every morning before you start work? There's not many jobs that you get to do that every day, and that's what we do every morning. It's amazing to be here and to see the customers that come in here and listen to their stories, to be a part of that, to even know any of that. It's just amazing because I was them. I've been where some of them have been. There was a girl who came in here one day and was talking about, her boyfriend and her did drugs and, their life wasn't good. And so they were here trying to start over. And I just looked at her and said, that was me a couple years ago. I said, but I have a house, I have a husband, I have kids, I have a wonderful job. I said, the only thing I can tell you is you need to go to the center and you need to find a church, because that's what saved me. That's what saved my husband. That's what saved our boys. So now we're in our house, and my husband has a great job, and I love my job, and we're doing so much better. Life is good. We still have our moments, we still have our bumps and bruises, but God has given me a great house, 4 awesome boys, and a marriage that I never would have thought I would see, because 3 years ago, this wasn't my life. 3 years ago, I was ready to get divorced, and we didn't have anything.